Hi, I'm Matt Cashore. I'm a 1994 graduate and one of the university's staff photographers. Part of my job is going to lesser known or off-limits places on campus to make pictures. And this is part 2 of Unseen Notre Dame. So we're outside the log chapel, a landmark on campus plenty of people are familiar with, but it's only open by appointment. And the funny thing is that the key is kind of on a log. So the first thing you notice in the log chapel is that there are 2 graves, and the most significant of which is Father Stephen Batten, who was the first priest ordained in the United States and the first priest to come to northern Indiana and establish a mission here. And he built the original log chapel, which burned down in the 1850s. This is a replica built in 1906, but it kind of has the feel and the smell of a cozy log chapel. So the log chapel, as I said, is open by appointment only. One of the things they use it for is staff masses with the staff chaplain. It's one of 2 places on campus you can get married, including the Basilica. Old College uses it once a week for their masses. Baptisms and vow renewals happen in here. But it's a fascinating place to most people. When I was photographing the cover of the book, The Chapels of Notre Dame, I had the door propped open and several people stopped by and just said, can we just have a peek inside? It's a fascinating place. There's all sorts of history on the walls, in the markers and the paintings that remind people of the university's humble rustic origins. We're at St. Michael's Laundry, which is on the north part of campus, but it wasn't always here. This is from the original St. Michael's Laundry, which stood about where the Alliance for Catholic Education building is now. It burned down in the late 80s. The laundry's a big operation. Everything from tablecloths to uniforms gets handled here. So let's go see the university's dirty laundry. Hello, here to pick up my tuxedo? So one thing that I have to be cognizant of in my job is don't hit my head on things, and there's plenty to hit your head on here, so just be careful. So this is the part that always fascinates me about the laundry, is just a sense of scale, because it's a washing machine just like you have at your house, only not at all like you have at your house. Did you ever see The Simpsons where Bart puts his red baseball cap into the white laundry and Homer's shirts come out pink? So the biggest thing that the laundry does, both in volume and in size of the piece, is linens for places like the Morris Inn or tablecloths. And wow, look at this machine go. Got it. Aha. In about 60 seconds or so, it goes from wet sheet to folded and ready to go on somebody's bed. Everybody loves the fresh, crisp linens at a hotel. It's like the best part of staying at a hotel. That's how it happens. So there's a door here. It's locked. There's a reason. So the laundry also does the athletics uniforms, and these are the uniforms that were at the Shamrock Series game in San Antonio this past Saturday. High security. Yes. Fort Knox. Which player gets their uniform the dirtiest? So this is where the laundry for the students happens. This is one of the bundles with students' laundry in it. Many years ago, if you were a male student, laundry service was part of the room and board. That ended just before I got to Notre Dame, so I never got to enjoy that myself. If this were a prison movie, Andy Dufresne would be down in here somewhere. 2005 Notre Dame football schedule. Hope that game against USC goes okay. My very own laundry bag. Can I keep that?
You bet.
But I still have to fold my sheets myself. So a little aside, at some point or another, most buildings on campus have scaffolding around them for repair or other things. So I'm one of a few people that can claim this. I've touched the cross in the Basilica, the statue on top of the Golden Dome, and the face of Touchdown Jesus, because at some point they've all had scaffolding around it, and I climbed it. So speaking of unseen, where's 3? So very special spot on campus, Father Hesburgh's office on the 13th floor. Now, contrary to some myths, he didn't live here, but he spent most of his time here. And it's usually not open, but we've made arrangements. So just in the lobby here of Father Hesburgh's office, there's some of the memorabilia of some of the amazing things he did. He carried the Olympic torch for the 2002 Salt Lake Winter Olympics. Some of the people he's met, I shot that. So there are 2 main parts to Father Hesburgh's office. The first is the sitting room. And off of the sitting room in the corner is his private chapel. And I was fortunate enough to have been with Father Hesburgh for a mass in here once. Pretty small, cozy space just for him. And out here there's a lot of the memorabilia of some of the things he was interested in. The one thing that he and I had in common was a love of aviation. And on his 90th birthday, they asked me to do a portrait of him, which we did here in this room. And making conversation, I asked him about his flight in the SR-71 spy plane, the fastest plane that we know of. And he was really into talking about that. And so after we were done with the picture, we went back in his other office, which we're going to show you now. And we talked about flying for half an hour. It was great. Popes, presidents, popes, presidents. So this is Father Hesburgh's office, where his desk is, and he was always very proud of 2 things. And he would always point them out to visitors. This rug, which is a one of a kind, and lists every president of Notre Dame up through Father Hesburgh. And the other was his view. So the one thing the video, unfortunately, can't give you a sense of is the distinct smell of cigars that's still here, even 2 years after he's been gone. He would take visitors by appointment, by pop-in visitors. He was always welcoming people here and would always be up for a chat if he had time. I remember when he met with the Blue Angels. That was special to me too, because I was a big fan of them as well. And they invited me to be in the picture, and it was one of the few times where I do want to be in that picture. And so they made a picture of me with them as well, and that was pretty special for me. Something Father Hesburgh was deeply proud of was being made an honorary Navy chaplain, and this is the certificate from that event, which I was fortunate enough to have photographed as well. There are just so many artifacts in this office that we couldn't describe them all, but there's a website that can, hesburgh.nd.edu, where you can take a virtual tour of the office and learn a lot more about some of the specific things in here and the stories behind them, and more about Father Hesburgh and his life. So go look at that site. So I feel pretty lucky to have a job that takes me into these lesser known and off-limits places on campus. And I hope you've enjoyed another look at 3 of those on Unseen Notre Dame.